They will sell the sessions, but they won't track them in the lifetime tracking. They will do and deliver the thing, but their administrative skills are so weak that they will not click the button to make sure that they lifetime says, cool, we will pay you for that. It's not hard. Click the button, get more of this. No button clicking, none of this. Button equals money. Click the button, you get paid.
So like my job is to deliver to you a really great experience and help you achieve the outcome that you're coming to me for as a coach. But I have to spend some amount of time telling you you owe me money, processing payment, getting you to sign the receipt and everything else, and admin working that, and then delivering said service in 20 minutes instead of it just being run by a system. This is one of those things where you got to slow down for a moment and just like, how could I change this process to make it better? Welcome back to Beyond the Pump, where we break down the business of fitness and nutrition. And today we were talking about making your business make sense. And if it makes sense, it's going to make dollars. Ha ha. I love a good dad joke. But a lot of times people are making it really hard for your consumers to give you money for various reasons. At the core of your business, with the function of you need, like, that's what you need to do in order to have a business, in order to make money. Like, you need to make sure that they give you money. We talked about payment processing when it comes to Rise CRM and things like that. There's a lot of options out there to go ahead and collect money. This is not a tax and everything conversation or whatever. So this is going to be a strategic thought process on it. There's like two big things that I would say. The offer structure and like how you're presenting and paying. And then there's also the actual tactical process of collecting the dollars for the offer that somebody selected. Those are the two big buckets when it comes down to it. And I know, Andrew, you had a story, because we have talked about this before a little bit. You had a story with a gentleman that you were working with in the gym, and he had, I think we called him Bobbert or something like that. He had the most ridiculous price list of all time. Break that down real quick.
Historically, and I'll say this, the Atlanta market and personal trainers don't do well out here. For whatever reason, maybe it's a fitness thing. I think it's just most people don't know how to run a business. It's a hustle culture, and it's a fly by the seat of your pants situation. Phoenix, very different. So those are the two backgrounds that I've had when it comes to this stuff. And the thing that seems to work reasonably well, you tie the dollar amount to an outcome, not the work. And so this individual was so excited because the idea that more information, it creates more value. And so this guy lists everything. He's like, okay. And then he lists the total price point next to it. So he was like, all right, well, if you do the basic package, you're going to do one training session a week, one nutrition thing a month, whatever. And I think it equated to somewhere roughly like $700 a month. And then he goes into and it's like 5 tiers. It's 5 drop downs, and it's on a single sheet of paper that I think, it's like kind of a shitty red color. It's like a really poorly designed Canva template. And I love this guy to death, one of the nicest guys. And I still, get the privilege to hang out with him and learn from his genius zone, which is a lot of the stretch therapy stuff. And so he's going through here in zone 2, like, his second offer is, it basically double that, $1,400, and then it goes triple, quadruple. And I think the top offer was 2 Pilates sessions a week, 1 nutrition coaching session a week, and 4 personal training sessions a week, something along those lines. And then the sticker on the end was $6,900 per month. So I was sitting here thinking, okay, so what you're telling me is if I give you $7,000, I now have to do all of this stuff. I'd rather just go get $7,000 and go get liposuction if I were someone that were trying to lose some body fat. Seems a lot less painful and a lot less effort. And so when you think about the value proposition of these things, you're competing with very quick medical grade interventions that will give them the outcome that they want and significantly less effort for the same price point if you're in a premium fitness location.
Training sessions not coming in enough times per month and ultimately making $900 well, hey, let's just charge $1,500 a month, create the outcome. You'll be able to work out 4 times a week, whether you're here or traveling, and like just lock that in. And it was this whole, well, what if they don't come in every time? Like we're not basing it on that, right? There's a capacity business operational thing that we need to solve. But like, chill, you're at 6 clients. It doesn't matter right now. Like, it's not the conversation that matters. So the offer side of things, tying it to the outcome is one of the best ways that you can structure an offer, right? A lot of times it's, oh, I'm going to go charge $100, $200, $300, $500, $1,000 a month, and I'm going to deliver the things. There's a mindset thing around the money and the dollars. And I get that. This isn't really about that. But first things first, you have to sell an outcome. And if it's going to be, hey, I'm going to get you to be able to grow your business, be able to help you create better results for your clients, and allow you to actually take some time off while running this business for $97 a month. Do you care about the how? As long as I actually follow through with what I said I'm going to do. Like, that's our offer. That is what the coaching operating system is. You get 3 certifications, you get a CRM, you get marketing and fitness and nutrition templates, and you get these coaching masterclasses, and you show up for nutrition enhancement conversations, and you have a community, and you have all these things. And those things are important. But at the end of the day, we want to help you grow a 6-figure business, get better outcomes for your clients, and not hate the business that you build for $97 a month. Which one for you on the receiving end is a way better sounding thing? So same token for your clientele, hey, I'm going to help you get in the best shape of your life, get in the body you want, so next summer you can wear the bikini you really want to wear. That's going to be $497 a month. The how becomes a little less relevant. Now, when you're in a conversation, you have to set expectations. In order for me to achieve this outcome, you have to thing. And that's part of the commitment that has to happen, because you don't want them coming in like, oh, I paid the money, I should just lose the weight, or, oh, I should grow my business. No, there is work involved, but your unique selling proposition, your intellectual property, your individualized system that's all about you is what they're buying to create an outcome. If you always tie yourself down to, I'm going to give you this many minutes, hours, sessions per week, whatever it is, that becomes a little bit different of a scenario where people are now paying you for your time rather than paying you to create an outcome for and with them. So,
yeah, I think it's a really good call out to also indicate, like, obviously there's something to be said around proposition, in that the assumption there was tying the value of the outcome to a dollar amount, and the explicit nature of that was selling the work instead of the outcome. But I think it is important that when you're doing your value proposition, as you're trying to figure out collecting the money wise, there's kind of 2 levers that you want to make sure that you're indicating, because, much the same way that we've had a consulting client that is in the allied health space, and they hired us as, consultants. And frankly, they couldn't implement a lot of the strategy that we had discussed. So there has to be a function of, this is the amount of effort, these are the expectations that we have for you. We're going to give you the expertise, and it's a shared effort perspective. But I think a lot of coaches forget, when they're doing those value props, is that there's an element of effort that's expected. And when the client then gets confronted with that, and they're like, oh, wait, I wasn't expecting that, it now completely devalues the entire process, which is why when we talk about something like Rise CRM, obviously the Health Coaching Success Academy, and all the bundle that Steve just mentioned, the assumption there is that people leverage those things. We're not going to do it for you. And that's why I think in today's fast fashion style of culture, where people expect I pay the dollar amount and I want the result, but I don't want to put the effort in, I think it's really important that you qualify the people. If they're willing to do the effort, then you should definitely give them your expertise. But if people cannot or will not do the effort, I don't think you should sell them your expertise, frankly, because that's where it's an ethical limitation. And so we know that from people buying certifications at NCI specifically, only 9% of people would complete it when left to their own devices, and they wouldn't care about that. And they would sit there and they would just try to feed the beast, and they would try to sell more courses instead of get people to actually get what they wanted from the courses. And so as we continue to grow the Health Coaching Success Academy, the things that we would like to do are make the efforts a little more shared and help guide people through these things. But right now, the certifications are, they're do it your own pace, but that means you have to do it. It doesn't mean like,
Yeah.
oh, I paid for it, I'm now a certified nutritional consultant or a coaching psychology and communication specialist. Like, that's not how that works. If you're going to pay the money, do the thing. If you're not going to do the thing, don't pay the money.
100%. You need to make the commitment to get it done, and that's what you need to expect of your clients.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to appropriately relay the expectations on the other side. Like, Rise CRM is in there. Cool. It's great. If you never use it, then you can't take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
If you keep paying for the existing CRM you have and don't switch everything into Rise, it can't save you money or transfer money over. Like, in a really cool world, Health Coaching Success Academy doesn't cost you anything extra in your business. You just get way more opportunity, way more access to things than you are in the current thing. You're spending $1,000, $2,000, $100 a month for whatever it might be. That's bucket number one, right? What's the offer that I'm selling? You want to structure it in a way that makes sense. And we can sit here and, Hormozy says I should charge every 28 days versus monthly, like all the things. You can absolutely do that. The thing though, like, that's not the thing that saves your ass. That's the way that you make 8.5% more money every year without doing anything different. So if right now the difference between you generating the income you want versus whatnot is 8%, go do that thing. But if you don't have enough clients and 8% doesn't matter, stop worrying about that. Charge monthly, make it easy, and just go out and find more people. Do the work that needs to be done. Don't get distracted with the fancy shit that everybody says you should go do. And that's like the stuff that we'll teach inside the academy. But on the flip side, in Rise, or let's say you have Stripe or, whatever other payment processors that there are out there, you can set up recurring payments, or people can purchase a package or some variation thereof. You should not ever get in a situation where people owe you money for services that have been rendered. It always gets weird. And then you go down this road of, I feel weird asking for money. If they're due for sessions, you let them know they're due. Now, responsibly, you shouldn't let them know on the last session. Hey, we got 3 sessions left. We need to re-up. So do the right thing. But you got to let them know. Same thing on monthly. You need to make sure you're setting it up in such a way. But I remember opening my first gym, and if you train twice a week, that's 8 2/3 sessions per month. If you trade 3 times a week, that's 13 sessions per month on average, pending your days, the ways that the month falls, all the things, because there's actually 4 1/3 weeks per month. I spent 3 months reverse engineering how mind body would handle the 8 2/3 versus the 13 sessions and all of this stuff. And I couldn't get out of my own way for a 4% problem. If I had put that same amount of effort in those 3 months to getting one more client, it would have completely undid when somebody technically owed me for 1/3 of a session. I was solving a $20 problem on a $1,000 a month agreement because I didn't want to be taken for that 1/3 of a session because I needed to bill them accordingly. But it's no, just charge them monthly, get them in the door, solve the problem, and make it easy, but automate the damn thing. Please don't ask for money. Listen, I know some of you are out there doing Venmo and Cash App and Zelle, and I know it, and I understand it's probably not a big deal, but it's an extra thing to worry about. And every time I got to send somebody money on my phone, I don't care who you are, it never feels good. Losing money does not feel good, ever. Very rarely do you feel great about giving somebody money. Mm-hmm. So why start every session off at a negative, at a disadvantage, in the red that you have to build out? Oh, give me my money and then we can train. No, don't do that.
Yeah.
Just collect it. Just collect it automatically.
Can't schedule the session unless you got the appointment in your account. Don't have the appointment in your account, can't schedule the session. Which is it. That's it. But you got to collect your dollars. And to that point, when you think about it feels weird, there are ways to build your coaching practices around that, which is why we suggest if you're, suggesting that someone trains 3 times a week, well, the program should reflect those whatever sessions that you're doing, and you need to write a program that'll last us 3 to 4 weeks. And by the time the program's coming due, you need to know from the other person, hey, What does your bandwidth look like to train next month? And what does your budget look like to train next month? If your bandwidth is high, but your budget is low, we're going to have to decrease the amount of sessions we have, but the program can probably still stay the same, right? Much to Steve's point, $1,500 a month gets you the solution. Sessions are kind of consequential. Do you need the program? Do you need me to be there so you can do the program is kind of the question. The more complex it is, the more changes people need, the more hand-holding they're going to need. The more complicated they are, that means they need to buy the in-person session. And so when you're writing these programs, there should be a natural endpoint where, okay, the program's over, which means now your billables are due. Because I need to know personally, as a professional, how am I going to write this next month? Which, by the way, you're paying an hour for program design anyway. So then tell me what you want to do for this next month. Here's my recommendation. It's going to be mildly complex because you sleep like shit and you don't drink enough water and you don't do the basic things, which means that we're very much like, we want to get this thing done. These are the ways that we know we need to do that workout session wise. But every time you show up, we have to pivot to make sure we don't crush you and hurt you. Mm-hmm. That's a high touch. Now there's more decision making, there's more troubleshooting that has to happen, which means that's a higher touch service, which is why the session then becomes required to make any progress. And so now week 4, cool, your next program's coming up. Do you want to wait and have a gap week, or do you want to keep going? Because in that gap week, you're going to backslide. So let's not backslide. What do you need for me to plan for next week and the next 4 weeks such that you can continue the momentum that we've gathered and made so far? Cool. This is what that's going to cost. How do you want to settle up? That's really the cash collected conversation as a coach. If you make it a business thing, it's going to feel weird. If it's a coaching conversation, how do you want to plan your next month? It's so much more seamless in my experience and the trainers that we've coached up on how to do that.
Yeah, don't overcomplicate it. Mm-hmm. Sell them, build the offer around the outcome. There's fulfillment requirements in there that you should be held accountable to and people should be able to expect. But outside of that, don't sell somebody sessions per se. If you're in a big box gym and that's literally what they sell, like I get it, I understand that. But also at the same point, there's a way to turn around and go, hey, if we're going to train 3 times a week and that's going to give you about 4 months worth of sessions worth if you buy the 48 session package. And in 4 months, that means that we can lose 20 pounds, but you told me you want to lose 40 pounds. We should actually buy more sessions. Like there's still ways to sell the outcome, even though the tangible exchange based upon the business you're in is going to be session based. But understand the thing that you're selling. Make it super easy to collect the dollars for the thing that you sold. And as you go through it, like just do the admin work required. Like if you're a trainer or a coach, you own a business, like check the box that says you should get paid.
Track your sessions.
Yeah. Just
track your fucking sessions.
The little bit of admin work required to run that business and make sure you get your income is well worth it. That's why you have that job.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as clocking in, clocking out, but for trainer language.
But I will say that when you think about, and so people are like, well, I have no idea how much I should bill them, and I don't know how many sessions they need. The average person that works out 5 days a week and has their nutrition somewhat under control can expect to lose probably about anywhere from half a pound to a pound a week. The ACSM, the NSCA, like these fitness organizations will suggest losing roughly 1 to 2 pounds a week as sustainable weight loss. So when someone says I want to lose 40 pounds, okay, that's 40 weeks of doing the shit that you need to be doing correctly. How long is it going to take for us to do the things and teach you the things to do the things and then keep you on track and not have you fall off? That easily goes to 80 weeks for most people, because the learning curve on the front end of the skill development and knowing how to integrate nutrition and whatever else. So if you're struggling with like, how much should I sell them or how long should I have them? 1 pound per week is usually kind of the rough timeline that I like to use during consultations whenever I was doing a lot more personal training, plus a 12-week training period. But I don't usually mention the 12-week training period because I usually give shit feedback.
All right, gang. Hopefully that was helpful. Like offer, collect the money, keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate the shit out of it. Don't worry about those 8% increases here and there and making life better. Like, cool, it's fancy, it's fun, but that's not the biggest problem you have. Solve everything else. Once you're like, all right, I'm at capacity, I need to charge more. That's an easy way to go ahead and increase by 8%. Outside of that, we appreciate you guys hanging out today. Beyond the Pump, where we break down the business of fitness and nutrition. Hopefully you found this slightly entertaining, and throw some comments, subscribe to the channel, super helpful for us. And if you want us to talk about anything specific, just let us know.
Yeah, we would love any reviews as well. So we appreciate the feedback. Peace.